What's going on? What's going on? Hey, this is a random video, but I got some news today that was pretty important for, I would say, the majority of anybody that reads manga or is currently reading Shonen Jump for sure. As that is Black Clover is actually going to Jump Giga, which is good and bad for two reasons. I'll explain that just a little bit later. But let's go through it real quick, actually, because it's a lot to talk about. It seems like such a short notice that this happened, that it's got transferred to this other series. Which, if you don't know, Jump Giga is a seasonal one, so it comes out every 3 months. We'll get one chapter. Basically, those chapters are usually about 50, 60 chapters. So mainly, I think Jump uses it for one shots and like special spin-off stories, basically that would go in there because like they're not gonna fit in the magazine or any other reason. But this is pretty critical. I feel like this is one of the few times in like shown history that we've seen like a frontliner go from the beginning of the like top magazine going to the other one. Usually, I think they're usually for health reasons for that. And I would hope that Tabata, I know he's taken a lot of breaks in the last few, has been taking care of his health and we've got assistance. But to be honest with you, Shonen Jump has been a kind of a clusterfuck, to be honest, from start to finish. Not to say like they all do organization, man, but the way the authors are trying to treat it and mangaka treat it is actually very, very strenuous on them. Like, imagine trying to put in, like, if you don't have a good editorial staff with you, trying to put in chapters week by week by week and make sure they're up to the same quality as to not be beaten by someone else every week for years on end. Like, people like Kishimoto and like Kubo and stuff like that come to mind as like doing that. Even Oda has like a team though. He has like respect. He understands, I guess, the inside and outsides of what he wants to do with a story. But a lot of beginner mangas don't really have that type of advantage in this type of industry, so they get kind of used and abused and kind of ringed out, and then we the fans kind of have to critique their story like, oh, look at it, look how bad, look how the ending is, look how this is. We're not really knowing like how much stress is put on the author and so and so I think it's very important to like figure that and like make sure that's really like said and like stated right now. But I know a lot of people. I've seen some comments from this tweet actually. I'm talking about how bad it is. Like, oh god, I can't believe Black Clover is going away. You know, it's like so short. It's so far away. Like getting like we get like 7-page chapters. So I'm like, yeah, I was a little teed off. I guess a little bit by 7 pages. Like, damn, just 2 full spreads basically, or 3 full spreads, and that's it, chapter. But understandably so, it's like I wonder like how the industry, like how is Tabata actually feeling about this? How is he like wanting? How's he want the series to progress? Because like we're basically at the end of the story, so I think this is a good idea to get him to like basically like kind of rebrand a little bit for how he wants the ending to be, like hash out some things and also get rest that he needs, because I know he has like a wife and kids and a family right now. And one of my favorite authors, Takeya Inoue, is doing the same thing. That's why he hasn't completed Vagabond right now, because he wants to finish Real, but Real's taking a line. Also, he wants to spend time with his kids and family, because he doesn't want them to like grow up without him in that way. And that's could probably be the reason why Yūki Tabata did this actually, and just for his own sanity. It's like I can't imagine like being like kind of hyper capitalized just for your series, like especially if it's so popular, people forget it. Like, respects to JJ Tommy and my goat JJK, of course, I'm like, gas my boys, but going through all that and then trying to make a series and people like wanting it so bad, it's like, damn, we going to another match in 3 months. I'm like, yeah, they're basically killing him almost. He's strenuous. He's getting stressed out. And it's really not that deep. I feel like we can wait for a lot of these chapters. They're not like this is the like something crazy, like something about to happen, like, oh, it's the end of the story. I'm like, okay. And even if it wasn't in the story, I feel like we can still wait for something good. It's always going to be better quality when people are at full health and full rest. Look at somebody like Togashi, for example. Like, hey man, he was doing Jump Week for years, and he kind of like just gave out. He was willing to like take care of himself in a lot of ways. Not saying anything bad at Shogashi, but that's what the industry does. You kind of choose what spits you out a little bit, and he's still a go-to author. He came back for last year for the early this year for like 9 or 10 chapters, about 8 or 9, I think. And that was great. But hey, if he goes back, like, we can always wait for Hunter x Hunter. I mean, it's weird if he was like, oh, I waited my whole life to read this. I'm like, yeah, but I really caution people to like have second opinions and like really think about like who's behind a lot of these stories, like really care about these books, because we can, like, we as a fans, like, we're not really creating this stuff. We don't really understand the industry as they do, and like as they're working. It's okay for them to take a break. That's what I want to say, I guess. It's kind of, I don't have a script for this video, so I kind of just started rambling off, but it's sad, but I'm like hopeful that this in the future will be like a really good mainstay. I really think Shonen Jump Weekly should kind of go away in a lot of ways, because I feel like it does destroy creativity of other manga, but also like destroy the like industry of processing. Like, it's kind of like the idea of like what social media does to people. It's like so much of it, for so long, it really rots the brain a little bit. So it really kind of takes you into like a different path, and like you're trying to make a story that's like fun and loving, and you want people to appreciate it, and you can't really appreciate it because you're being stressed at work. It's like, how do I expect the creative art, how I expect this art to come out like right, or how do I like have good quality, you know? So, but W for Tabata, honestly. And like I said, I hope this sets the standard for like on the manga, because I know Chainsaw Man's going like bi-weekly kind of in itself, but like kind of week to week basis. I implore more mangas to do this if they're feeling like battle stories, like just take a break, really chill out. Like, hey, I know it's like money situation, but like we want you as long as it's possible. I don't want to warn you like my one Miura. Like, rest in peace to the goat, but hey, let's not make that premature. You feel me? But all right, yeah. Thanks for watching though. Hey, appreciate you guys being here. I'll see you next one. Have a good night.
He's the